Hi, hello. I was in the Golden Gauntlet this past week. There were many people that were in the Golden Gauntlet, but I still feel very lucky that I was able to participate in it. I'm going to talk about my experience there, how I did, some of the lessons learned, and then some of the other decks that happened. I wanted to make this make this video on Sunday. Unfortunately, I was sick, as you could tell by my voice a little bit. It was sore, and then I started to get more congested, felt very lethargic, but now things are better. It's on the mend. My wife's birthday is this weekend, so I'm fighting for my life so that we have a good birthday weekend for her. So fingers crossed, everybody. Like and subscribe if you want me to be better. Dislike if you want my wife to have a terrible birthday. So do that now. Thanks. Anyway, Golden Gauntlet. What deck did I use? This is the deck that I used. I was going back and forth with what deck should I actually go for. I knew a certain type of deck, which I'll talk about later, that I had no interest in using at all. But I went with like one of my favorite archetypes. I went with Destroy. It did fairly well. I was in the top 20% of players after the thing was all said and done. As far as like the ranking is, I really do like, and I really do think this is a very fun deck. Did it perform as well as I wanted it to? No. Did it get countered very easily? Yes. So I don't recommend doing it. But this was I still like using this deck in ladder sometimes, and in Conquest whenever I decide to dabble in that. How did I do? My final placement was ranked 207 out of 1,047 contestants. My record was 4-2. My points, 12. I guess that's like 3 points per win. My OW percentage, and what OW means is your opponent's win percentage, was 45.5%. What that means is that it takes all the opponents that I played, and it gives you an average of how they did. And the higher your opponent win percentage is, I'm pretty sure it stands for opponent win percentage. That makes the most sense. The higher you're going to be ranked. That's one of the top things to determine tiebreakers when it comes down to it, where I actually have this pulled up. So this obviously is player number 17, right out of the top 16, unfortunately, but he had the highest opponent win percentage. And even though all these people were, how did they end up doing? 5-1. Even though they got 5-1, they got 5-1, they got 5-1. Kingpin 004 was ranked the highest of all of them because he had the highest opponent win percentage, and you could see his total cubes were 16. So first round he had a bye, which is a win. And then it was, he won 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and 3 is the amount of cubes or hit points you have left at the end of it. So he was 3-3, 3-7. He had 0 sweeps, and his last round he lost 0-8. So at least he never got shut out, but he also never shut anybody else out for it. And you look at someone down here, Contra 4-2, who way more cubes than he did. You know, he also had a bye, but 9-0, 10-0. I mean, they're all gonna be 0, but he had 9 cubes, 10 cubes, 8 cubes, 8 cubes. So he did much better. He did over twice the cubes that Kingpin did, but because Kingpin's opponents were better than the opponents that Contra got, Kingpin is ranked higher for that. So very interesting to see. All right. Match history, this one. All right, so I will be honest. 2 wins that I got, this 10-0 and this 10-0. These were people who got a loss because they didn't check in time. This person, and I had to call a judge 6 minutes in because I know they have so many people to deal with. So I gave this guy an extra minute or 2 to actually show up. Judge called over the judge in top deck, said what's going on. I said, as per the rules, this person did not check in within the first 5 minutes, so can I accept the win? Judge waited a minute and said, yes, you are allowed to have the win, so I took the win. 2 minutes later, this guy came in and said, "Am I late?" I go, "Yeah, you have to be here within the first 5 minutes. Sorry about that." And he goes, "You're not sorry. You just wanted an easy win." And I did want an easy win. And the reason is because this was an open deck list tournament. What an open deck list tournament is, you have to submit one deck list for you to use the entire tournament. And everybody can see that. So when you get paired up, you can look at your opponent's deck list, which is a very good thing to do. And this person was using an Invisible Woman end of turn deck. And two of the cards in there are two cards that heavily counter my Destroy deck, which is Juggernaut and Cosmo. So as soon as it hit the 6 minutes, I'm going to rules lawyer and say, hey, I want this easy win, because if I don't get this easy win now, I'm just going to get beaten, probably. So I took the win. He wasn't happy about it, but you know what? You're not there in time. Too bad. Next round, Maddie, you could tell it was 0-1. This was so close. He beat me 3 times. First, I was down to, I think, 4 cubes. He was at full 10. And then I'm sure, you guys can agree with this. I don't know, or comment if this happened to you, where you're in a conquest and you are at like death's door, right? Like one more and you are done. And I came back and I knocked him down to 1 cube, and then it just was, he got a much luckier draw than me. It was still a very close game, the final game, but in the end, I tried to fight back and I couldn't do it. It was great, cool guy. We talked for a little bit afterwards. Really fun match, really good. So that was good. Second one, I swept him. He didn't beat me. There were 2 games where I totally thought I was going to lose, but I didn't. But then the rest was there. I don't know if he was taking it too seriously or not, but it wasn't, even though I shut him out, I don't think it was like an easy round. Second, I could not beat this person for anything. He just had great counters, great plays. I just got swept. I got beat the crap out of. It wasn't a fun time. And then the 5th one, Tevins, he actually was a disqualification, or he got the loss because he was late. Where in the first round, I had to call a judge over to be disqualified for it. And this one, I'm just like, I'm going to wait a few minutes because it's like midnight right now. Maybe he just needs like a potty break, a snack, something like that. So I'll wait for like 10 minutes before the judge comes by, because his deck wasn't like the Invisible Woman deck, that trash thing. And I'm not saying I could have beaten him, but I had a very good chance to go against his deck. But as soon as that 5 minutes happened, like right on the dot, a bot happened. It was like the top deck GG bot saying this person has a loss because they didn't check in, and then it awarded me the 10 cubes. So after a while, and I hope they do this in the future, because it's very like nerve-wracking to call over a judge when you get that 5-minute mark, because you do feel like a little bad depending on who it is. I didn't feel bad about the first one because they're using an Invisible Woman and a turn deck, so whatever. And then the second one, the last one, versus the True Potato King. Very close game. I won 6-0, and he was a great deck, fun deck. I got very lucky. I think the first game I retreated. Second game, I won 8 cubes. We both snapped. I won that by 1 point. It was very scary. And then I lost, retreated, and then was able to finally beat him. So if I didn't get that 8 cube win, I would not have had a 4-2 record. I would have had a 3-3. So let's go over the first, or the top 10 decks. So first place was F300 Zen. I'm not going to try to figure out what their name actually is. I am not good at it. I'm just going to make it worse. I was very happy that this was it. They used Electra. Electra has been having like a little small comeback because of Sunspot and some other, 1-cost cards. And this is also the first variant I ever bought. So I've been wanting to use this deck to utilize that, finally. And it's been pumping out strong numbers. And this is a deck that uses, again, Mercury and Cannonball, which has been very strong in this whole tournament. I've seen quite a bit of decks that actually do have them. I think there's 2 more in the top 10 that did have them. I'm not sure about Second place, and I think it's seventh place because those are the Invisible Woman decks, and I'm not going to talk about those. But this was a great one to see. Also used Gorgon. I really do enjoy Gorgon. The idea of him, I think it would be better if he was like a 2/4 for what he is. But still nice to see these two underutilized cards. Third place, again, is another ongoing deck. Great to see ongoing happening. Ravonna here to help out with Mystique, Goliath, and Iron Man can definitely help out pull some, help out with some like turn 5 and turn 6 plays. Great deck, lots of fun. Fourth place was MSL Chamo. This is just like a bigger type of numbers deck, where you're trying to get Galacta out on 4, or maybe Gwenpool out, and you're trying to just do like a real nice buff to Brood and Mr. Sinister. Gladiator helps with that to help try to get like Fenris going. Fenris has been making a little bit of a comeback, so absolutely a fun deck. I've only used this twice. I was not getting a good flow with it, so I just skipped using this. I have been trying to do all these decks. This is another deck I haven't gotten to use just yet. A move deck. 5th place, man. A 5th place move deck. Good for this person. Great to see. This. They're using Cannonball, but they're not using Mercury in a move deck. That is a little bit surprising, but I do love Madam Web. And obviously, the numbers that this one was pulling out, fantastic. Really happy to see a move deck. 6th place, Scorched. Scorched was using an Arisham deck. Nothing really special about this. When it does come to Arisham decks, it's really just you have like a good support card, so not that much. And when it comes to Arisham, I'm not going to say Arisham players are no skill, because you do have to have like a very good amount of skill to play Arisham when it comes to using whatever kind of crap you're given. Sometimes you don't need a lot of skill with an Arisham deck, because the game just somehow gives you the exact card you need from Arisham at the exact right time. I've been on both sides of that coin, and it is great and terrible. But still, they did fantastic. I was watching the semifinals for this, and I think this person got Quinjet first like 5 turns in a row. How unbelievable is that? Felt like cheating. 7th place was Butt Squad. The people who are announcing the tournaments, casting the tournaments, they're still not allowed to say, but they were saying like BU++, because that's what he has to do, and his name wasn't even like Butt Squad, it was like Super Squad or something, I forgot what it is. But this one, really surprising. Juggernaut, fantastic tech card. Everybody's using Mr. Fantastic. This card is overpowered. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Great to see Etri in there as well. When I first saw Etri, I thought, oh, he's using another, what was he? Another Arisham deck. But no, he was using Agamotto. And look at this. Kahori coming in hard. Again, just absolutely crazy. The plays that this guy was able to do, because I did watch a couple of his games, absolutely fantastic. Love seeing just like random stuff happening. And there's a lot of like in-hand stuff. We have like Iron Patriot, Valentina. Merlin, I guess, doesn't count for when it comes to Victoria hand. But again, Butt Squad coming out with just a very unique type of deck, and like great for him for thinking of this stuff. It's actually because of him I've been using a lot more Emperor Hulkling. Sometimes Emperor Hulkling just comes out really solid. Rarely do I get like a bad Hulkling pull. Next is Big Boy Gizhath. I don't know if that's how you say it. This is all lowercase, so I don't know where the capitals are supposed to be to emphasize this. This is just a ramp deck. That's it. It's a ramp deck. Really great ramp deck. You do have the Mercury Cannonball in there. You can go and do Luna Snow into Blink, or Electro into Blink. Blink is another card that I'm trying to utilize a little bit more, especially with this. I've been using Cersei with Electro because I think it's more fun, but I think I'm going to have to switch to Blink for this. So ramp deck did great. And 10th place was from No Lux Given, a Hela type of deck. This is the deck I've actually been using in ladder the most. So I've tried almost all the decks. I told you the 2 I didn't do, which was the 3rd place ongoing in the move deck. But No Lux, I've been using his deck, so shout out to him for that. This deck has been pretty darn fun. Legion is the star of this deck. It has won me so many type of games, and just having a ton of fun with this. So congratulations to the top 10, except for those 2 people using the Invisible Woman. So for the top 10 archetypes that happened, just to review, first place was ongoing, second place was trash, third place was ongoing, fourth place was a power tech deck, fifth was move, sixth was Arashim, seventh was Butt Squad. He's his own archetype. I don't care. I don't know what to call it. It's the Butt Squad deck. 8 was trash, 9th is ramp, and 10th was Hela. So absolutely just wonderful spread. And I think one thing that this shows is people are like, oh, you know, the meta is trash, and the meta is, well, I guess kind of like the meta is trash when you do look at this. But it is still very versatile. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 or 7 real different types of decks that are in this. Now I think they're all using Mr. Fantastic first steps because he's just such a broken card. But this was actually a really wonderful kind of like spread to do. I don't know if you can look at every deck list and like get the data for that and see which card was used the most. I might have to tag Lauren Whatevs to see if they know that or they can figure it out. They used to be like a data analyst, and they are smart as heck, man. I think I need to branch out to be like actual friends with some of these other creators, and when it comes to people on like my top, I think Lauren Whatevs is definitely like my top 3 that I want to be like associated with and friends with. They're just so smart with some of the craziest stuff that I've seen. So what lessons did I actually learn from this whole tournament? Don't use destroy. That's number 1. I went 4 and 2. 2 of those were people coming in late, and it did much better than I thought. But there's just so much when you're in tournaments like this. I'm finding there's so many more tech cards, like Cosmo, Juggernaut. Those are 2 like very popular ones. More Shang-Chi's I've seen. So using destroy, that deck, you really have to pull some crazy plays, which I was able to do, and just try to psych out my opponent, and really force me to play my deck differently to get any type of win at all. But using destroy is definitely a lot of fun, but not in a tournament. Determine what your goals are in this. Am I looking to just be part of the tournament for fun? Am I looking to get just 1 win? Am I looking to win the entire tournament? Do I want to do this for exposure or something along the lines of that, experience? So figure out what you want to do in the tournament, and just remember, it is a tournament. You're not paying to really get into a lot of these, well, that's not for Golden Gauntlet. So for me, it was a big time investment, and it was a lot of fun. Next one is look at the event times. I got hit pretty hard with this because I signed up for the tournament. I didn't look at some of the intricate details of it. I saw that it was like Saturday. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But like, you had to register your deck by 8 a.m., but there were errors, and so they changed that 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Check-in time for the whole tournament was 7 p.m., and I'm on the East Coast. I live in North Carolina, United States. And then start time was 8 p.m., and I didn't get done till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that. And what I didn't know, and again, this is reading the rules and being familiar with the intricacies of the tournament, was after 6 rounds, the top 16 are determined, and then everyone else, regardless if you're not in the top 16, you're done. So at like 2 a.m., I'm waiting for the next round or anything to happen, and it's like 2:15. I'm like, what is going on? And that was actually like the round 6. It ended a couple hours later, but I was long asleep. So next, look at opponent's deck. When it's an open deck list like this, it is not cheating to look at your opponent's deck. You might feel like it's cheating, but remember, they can look at your deck, and it's very important for you to look at their deck. This is a big tournament. There's only so much that's going to happen, so much time and so many opportunities you're going to have. So looking at what your opponent has from the get-go is a very good thing to do. I streamed the whole thing. I have it so streams will be for members because I can do that, and I figured if I want a member privilege, that would be a nice one to do, so people can watch the recordings of the lives. But I am going back and forth between the game itself and then what the opponent has, trying to figure out what cards they may play, and it did help me get some wins to be prepared for something. So look at your opponent's deck. If it's an open deck list, it's not cheating, it's just part of it. Don't be afraid to snap. That one game that I lost by 1 point at the very end, I could have won that if I snapped in an earlier game. And I didn't. I was too hesitant, and I learned my lesson. That's how I was able to get that 8-cube win against that other guy later on. I'm like, you know what? I have a pretty good feeling about this, and if I don't go big right now, I'm going to go home. Literal go big or go home. This was not the prize for the tournament, but it really should have been the prize. I actually don't know what the prize was for the tournament. I really got to look that up. It was probably something absolutely crazy. I also didn't know that the people that went 5-1 were going to be put into the Golden Gauntlet finals. So I was so close to being in the world finals for Marvel Snap. Very sad about that. I don't know if that was announced later or previously, or if it was just announced after the tournament. I'm not sure. But congratulations to everyone who did that, I guess. I'm just salty about it, and I wish I was a little bit better for it. If I snapped at one time, maybe. Alright guys, that's it. This is a very long video going over everything. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.